Okay, been like a month since I watched last episode. Last time on, Bakugo fucking died. Anyway. They definitely should have waited
fast enough
to change the
I have
opening
to get to UA before it's too late.
until
Doria,
like an episode or two from now.
yeah? I
Because
have a bad feeling I just can't shake.
really, in the Star Wars inspired show, you're not going to say I have a bad feeling about this? Okay. Tagatame had the, like, Bakugo's face the way it's drawn in the last episode when he's having the talk with All Might Spirit and whatnot. And on top of that, it's generally a darker vibe for the opening. So I don't know why they didn't wait like an episode or two before bringing Curtain Call in, because that was not the vibe of last episode. I loved Curtain Call, but just didn't fit. How many episodes has it been since Deku left? I think it was 6 or 7 when he left, so it's been like 5 episodes at least. Yeah, this might be the best My Hero opening, even if I do feel it has spoilers. They show Dabi in what I assume is All for One after he gets rewinded, because that was definitely what the implication seemed to be. Yeah, and Dabi was literally defeated, so I don't know why they'd be showing him unless he came back in. Those will come out long after the movie did. Have you all seen it? Have I seen it? Is it good? I got my tickets.
This can't be happening.
How good are your eyes?
I've made a decision. Damn it. How could you do such a thing?
His eyes are so big.
You monster. This time he's truly dead. You shouldn't have left this to your students.
Okay, Mirio. That had massive... They're even using Bertolt vibes from Attack on Titan's finales. Like, what do you... Why do you think that's different? Like, how many people has Shigaraki killed? Like, he destroyed the entire fucking city last time. And took out, like, dozens of heroes with it. I feel like you can keep that sentiment without having the dialogue be questioning how or why they could do that. Or even why they would. Like, you know why they can, you know why they will. They're the bad guy. They don't fucking care about how you feel. Of course, with her, they turn into tentacles.
Seeing how this worked out, I'm actually grateful that I got to fight you first.
Get out of here, Shoto!
How did this happen?
This is the product of his persistence.
What the hell is this pacing? When we were last here, Dabi had collapsed and everyone was celebrating. You don't jump from that to this to somewhat explaining what happened when the explanation feels like something that should have just had it continue from that scene instead of what's felt like a massive fucking pause. The fuck?
I alone can carry out Redestro's cherished dreams. I see that now. I simply need to support Shigaraki. Then, in the wake of this chaos, an equal world will be born where people can use their abilities to decide their worth.
Yes, that's what Redestro thought.
No more villains. Only boundless freedom will reign.
I feel like
Hey, we're getting a bunch of...
I feel like he wasn't on board with Shigaraki earlier, and now he's just committed to it for the exact same reason that Redestro first said to commit to Shigaraki. What? Oh, is Gigantomachia about to escape?
Those who cling to the teachings of the past must be silenced.
Rudius?
To move forward.
It's just fucking Rudius. What? Who the fuck is this?
They weren't able to accomplish much of anything, from what I hear.
There we go.
What's he done now?
I don't mean to gloat, but it's clear that the Doomsday Theory was right all along. Take note
And it's
that
gonna
this
go
can only
absolutely
be used
nowhere.
once.
It can't be.
Alright, Tokoyami.
Ares quirk.
Why are you in the intro? Mina and Tokoyami get focus in the intro, not just like a cameo. They got focus.
My body feels light as air. This rewind quirk may have saved my life, but it will continue to de-age me till I vanish from existence completely.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I've passed the baton to Tomura Shigaraki, so my dream will live on. I
Huh.
have but one remaining duty. I must rescue him from that trap you set. A bold move, but useless in the end.
Okay. That's one of the things I think I've liked the most so far since, like, episode 6, after which I heard about the ending. Initially, I thought it was frustrating, but I think actually giving the villains a fucking trade-off for something they've done, I really like. Because Shigaraki just was given fucking god powers with no consequence and was merged with All For One, and it's just dumb. But I like that. Like, he can essentially heal and get back into peak condition infinitely, but it will do it so infinitely that it will bring him back to before he ever existed. I like that. It's an actual trade-off for giving the villains a boost. Kind of like what the dark side is supposed to be in Star Wars. You know, a fast route to power that's way more damaging to you in the long run.
Tomura has reached a level beyond anything humanity can stop. It's over. He can do almost anything. He's untouchable.
Fucking nuke him.
So is-
Are we gonna get David and Melissa back at any point, or were they just
Children watch adults. They learn from
completely
them as they
one-time
grow.
characters for the movie?
Don't worry.
When did he get that beaten up?
I can't infiltrate. I will become this child's heart!
It's a shame he has to be taken out of the fight in that way. He's really fucking cool,
Headshot.
but
Pork, fold a body. He can stretch his body until it's thin
Huh,
and
this is
thread-like.
the first time we're actually
Years
getting
of
this.
diligent train-
I'll use it to sterilize myself before starting the operation.
All your threads are already in him, though. Oh my god! This woman needs to fucking chill. She just lost her other arm, right?
Afraid of some background extra? Mirko!
All For One's got a real focus on the whole concept of extras.
me!
This woman is legitimately insane. I genuinely think some of the villains are more stable than she is.
destroyed them. So his body responded. It found a new optimal form.
Okay, it's strong, but it doesn't seem like it's like lethal.
The finest hero the world's ever seen.
I wish Mirio got more development in seasons 4 and 5, especially season 5.
Brought a peach for ya!
Yep. That's the 2 seconds.
Zuku Midoriya.
That's the end of the episode, isn't it? Yep, fuck you. Something I praised in season 6 was that All For One, or One For All's secondary quirks were not great. Like, they're relatively weak. And that's something I praised about it. But now I feel like that's looping around to being a problem because most of them will not help with this. And Shigaraki is way fucking stronger. Shigaraki having the ability to evolve into anything makes it a little beyond what Deku should be capable of. Especially if he's going to solo it from here on out, which seems to kind of be the implication given that everyone's kind of almost dead. We still don't know what the final quirk is, and Fajin is... It needs charge up, but it would make it a lot easier for Mizuki to fight. I'm pretty sure... What percentage was he at last we checked? I think he could handle up to 50? I feel like he needs to be at like at minimum a constant 80 or 90 in order to actually even be a threat. And in season 6, like him going all out was like 60%. And that was in the Vigilante Deku arc. And he hasn't done much more training since then. At least none that we've seen. I don't think they've ever given us a concrete number on what he can do right now, but I don't know. I feel like they build up the One For All, All For One being equal in power so much, but they don't actually show that as being the case. Especially with Shigaraki's evolved form. Like, that on its own could probably beat All Might. At, like, prime All Might. And, like, that's me saying that without any of Shigaraki's quirks. And if Monoma or Eraserhead, if the erasure stops at any point, like, it goes from Shigaraki is probably a bit more powerful than Izuku to Shigaraki is literally a god and Izuku is a really strong superhero. I don't know how many of you who are familiar with the ReZero story and the character's powers in that, but it's kind of like Reinhard versus Rem. Like, yeah, Rem's pretty strong. Even by the standards of that setting, she's still decently competent. But Reinhard is on such a different level that it's not even, like, a debate. The dude has the power to get any power he needs. He has infinite resurrects. He dodges all attacks automatically. He nullifies almost 80% of any type of attack that hits him. He reflects certain types of attacks. He completely nullifies certain types of attacks. The dude is so beyond broken that almost any other character stands literally no chance at all, even if they are relatively strong. But I don't know. They've had some other fights in the series where the weaker character did manage to come out on top in a believable way, so I'd say the main ones with that are Muscular and the first, like, All for One's defeat. Those are kind of the main ones that come to mind. Because Deku and All Might were definitely weaker than the villain there, but still won. It's a weird case where, like, it's believable enough. Like, I believe enough that their willpower is strong enough that they can get enough of a boost to deal one strong enough hit to actually deal with the opponent. But with this, like, in no world does Shigaraki fall to one hit, no matter how strong it is. Deku could go to 1,000,000% squared. It would not be enough. Anyway, let's see how they handle it, though.
8 different locations.
You also still haven't seen, more of Toga.
Island, located off the coast of Japan.
We still haven't seen any more of her
Many other
since,
villains were sent to Takaba National Stadium.
I think
in
it was
order to keep
episode
collateral
7?
Damage. Dabi was able to rally and make a comeback. Meanwhile, at the Gunga Villa site,
Heroes should be the ones that defend, after all.
Something I was critical of with the Shibuya incident in Jujutsu Kaisen is how things more felt like they were happening in sequence compared to, like, 70 events happening at the same time. And that's something I praised the Paranormal War arc for in Season 6. I'm kind of feeling that with this season. The Paranormal Liberation War did have fewer perspectives to go to, which did make that easier. However, I feel like it bounced between them more. With this, like, its entire episode's generally focused on one of the 3 things. Like, it's either Dabi, Shigaraki, or All for One. And usually most of the episode is focused on one of those things. So, like, Toga and Spinner, I think, have gotten, like, maybe 12 minutes each in this war so far. The area where they had characters who hadn't warped away with All for One's assassin or whatever the guy was, like, he was introduced and hasn't shown up since. I got these things can be hard to pace, but I don't know if I feel like it's been great so far. I think you can definitely make certain things shorter with this. Like, there was a lot of focus on Mirio with the Shigaraki part in the last episode. I feel like there was so much focus on him that you could have gone away after he started to realize that he couldn't beat Shigaraki and then go somewhere else and then come back to him and focus on what he's doing for that. Like, I feel like there are better ways to pace this to show more of the events that are happening because, like, as I said, Spinner and Toga have gotten almost nothing this entire time. and they're supposed to be two of our big villains. I get All For One and Shigaraki are like the big bads, but I mean, the main fight with Shigaraki was gonna be when Deku arrived, and we've still gotten so much Shigaraki in that time. Maybe it just needed like more episodes or something, because it really hasn't been that long since this started, which, yeah, honestly, I feel like getting to this point, because we started episode 6. That's when everything was portaled away, I think. That's when all that came to a close and everyone got portaled. So 7 to now. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We are on the 7th episode of the conflict in earnest. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we should have gotten more of the other characters in that time. And I feel like they could have spaced it out so that All For One's Rewind and Deku arriving were later in the season. Because those are kind of the big things that I feel like are going to change the course of what's happening here. Same with Dabi getting back up, which was so poorly handled. Like, for having the most focus aside from the All For One fights, that was such a sudden shift for that fight. Like, last time we see him, he's completely defeated on the ground, everyone's celebrating. Next time we see him, he's powered up, he's got them all by the ropes, he's burning people, and he's in his next phase. Like, there was no transition period. Like, it wasn't like they were about to lock him up and then he powered up or something. He just was powered up the next time we saw him, even though last time he collapsed onto Shoto. Like, how did we get from there to where we are now?
With no remorse. You should be proud, Endeavor. I knew I...
Yeah, wow, part of the issue is definitely the recaps and the previews this show does, because 24 minutes for an anime is pretty standard length, but we've already used up almost 2 minutes on a recap, combining the 3 minutes of the opening and ending, combined with 30 seconds of previews at the end. That's already 5 minutes, almost 6, that's been shaved off by superfluous content. And watching some of these shows spaced out, I've definitely started to understand the value of a recap, especially with Mushoku Tensei. I forgot a lot of stuff throughout that watch through just because of how long of a period I watched it over. But I don't know, I feel like the show might go a little too far in that regard. And the fact that they never skip their intros or endings definitely hurts that. I can't remember a single episode where they removed the opening or ending because of how major the episode is and how much they had to get in there. Like, I don't think they've ever done that. And that's becoming a pretty common practice, I feel.
Rushing back to my school, and the coffin in the sky.
I've seen people point out how it makes very little sense for Toga to have been able to pull a full cowling Deku through the portal. Like, if he wanted to resist, there's no way she could overpower him. Even if his full cowling state was at 30%, like, she is not that buff. I'll be kind of honest, I really want to get through this show soon, because I'm so sick of recording things that upset me and I'm hypercritical of. Because Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Mushoku Tensei Part 1, Mushoku Tensei Part 2, Overlord, my hero. That's a lot of hours of being angry. Granted, Overlord was only at the end of the season, but then you got stuff like Kaguya where I just got so impatient on the romance stuff. And Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, I was angry about that too.
You've got to defeat the worst villain in history. Got that?
Sir!
The worst villain in history so far. Remember, there's a Quirk Doomsday thing going on.
Brought a peach for you!
Dude is caked up. Jesus. Why'd they give him more cake than most of the women in this show?
Is everyone up?
Yeah, that's an obvious reaction. Something just the bzzzt and the smash that came up. Like, is it just me, or did they not do the comic onomatopoeia stuff in earlier seasons? I feel like that's been a thing in season 7. I think in this one in particular. I think it was in season... No, it wasn't. It was in the season 6 intro, but I don't think it was actually used very much in the war, if at all. I don't know. I feel like they're doing that kind of stuff way more in this season. And I'm not entirely sure if that fits the current tone. The first 3 seasons, sure, it absolutely fits the tone, but I don't know about now. And I don't really remember it happening back then. How does Black Whip Mouth help you here?
That's
Also, what the
right.
fuck is up with
Get
his eyes?
mad. Anger makes you predictable. When you attack, I'll sever your spine. Come at me.
I hope you like the present. Sorry.
Sometimes I feel like the anger makes you predictable thing for a character makes them is something that's only told and not shown. Because like, I feel like their movements look way more erratic and chaotic and are generally faster and more aggressive. I think in like a more basic type of fight, like martial arts or swordplay, like I feel like there's an argument to be made there. You would probably put more weight behind your attacks, which means you're doing longer charge ups or bigger swings, which are easier to see coming then because you're doing more time in the wind up. But like with this, he's moving so fast most people wouldn't be able to see what he's doing. So I'm not really sure how well the anger makes you predictable thing applies.
I know you're feeling super guilty. Got it, but stay strong. That's what he wants. He's trying to turn you against.
The way they animate what's happening with his face right now makes it look like he's being possessed by something. It's just kind of a weird choice, I feel.
That's the mindset you need to battle with.
Like, that's straight up another quirk at this point. Also, remember back in the Overhaul fight, and I think several other fights, when Deku was criticized by the villain for being predictable, even when he wasn't, like, in pure rage mode, like, just as a normal fight? Pretty sure Kacchan called him out on that as well in their Season 3 fight. And Overhaul just outright says that directly. Like, he calls him easy to predict. So I don't really know how much the rage will influence things.
No, All for One is the consciousness in charge. Perhaps because he's been alive longer. I don't know what your plan is, or how you intend to approach this fight, but don't think for a second that there's a happy ending for you.
I feel like it makes sense given All for One's personality. I just don't think they should have spent so much time developing Tomura as a entity. Because between All for One and Tomura is the more interesting character and the villain I want to see more. I think if the plan was always to go in this direction, they should have been more clear about it from the start so there wouldn't be this level of just disappointment that the character who we've been building up to this entire time no longer exists. It's kind of like the endgame Thanos problem, but significantly worse. The tragedy of Infinity War and Endgame is that the Thanos we were building up to won, and then we just fought another version of him. With this, though, like, the main villain of the series, the one we've known since Season 1, the first one and really introduced long before All for One, both in terms of concept, name, face, power set, personality, like, all of those things about him were introduced long before All for One. And he's not the final villain? His consciousness is basically just deleted? I'm pretty sure a lot of other people have had this issue, but I think the thing that upsets me even more is that we see Tomura's consciousness fighting against All for One. And I feel like the reason why All for One groomed him to be like this would make it so that his consciousness would overpower All for One's. Like, the way I understand it, the reason All for One groomed him to be this was because All for One didn't really harbor any real rage for One for All's users. And that's a powerful thing that can really make it easier to beat them all down. He felt scorn for them. he found them like amusingly adorable and pathetic and less than him, but he didn't have like a hatred for them, which is why he wanted Tomura, who would have that hatred and would then be strong enough to actually go against them and have enough emotion invested in it to completely take them down. Which makes me feel like his consciousness should be the stronger one. Especially considering that by that point in the show, I'm not really sure how much Tomura liked All for One. It's just really frustrating to go through all that time with the villain only for them to not be the main villain. Especially when they're the one who got an arc focusing on their development. A huge part of the Villain Academia storyline was developing Tomura as an antagonistic figure. Part of it was developing Tenko Shimura, sure, but it was also about Tomura finding his reasoning, finding the thing he stands for and fights for, and learning to become the greater villain. God, this is frustrating. Honest question for fans of animanga. How many stories have concrete endings that you didn't feel fumbled in one way or another? I feel like I could count the amount that I've seen on maybe two hands. Better yet, how many shonen end well? Because I've heard Naruto's ending kind of fumbles a bit and introduces a villain who had no setup to defeat a villain the author didn't know how to defeat. This screws up entirely. JJK sounds incredibly underwhelming. Attack on Titan, if you call it a shonen, like, sure, I hear Bleach was rushed. I think I've heard Black Clover was rushed. I've heard Demon Slayer gets a bit rushed at the end. Like, how many actually end well? Especially longer shows, like shows 50 episodes and up. The ones that come to mind for me are Code Geass, Monogatari, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and only Brotherhood. I would not consider the original to have a good ending. The ending is one of its weakest parts. There's also Madoka, Your Lie in April, Anohana, but those are all less than 30 episodes. Two of them are less than 20. I think the part that makes it so disappointing is the evidence that these things can end incredibly well. Monogatari has a fantastic ending. The ending is one of the best parts of it. It's very satisfying, and it feels conclusive. It feels definitive. I'm satisfied with how pretty much every single storyline wraps up. And I think that really shows how important it is to have the full story planned out at the start. Because, like, I mean, with Attack on Titan, you cannot tell me that that was the intended direction the whole time. Like, things were changed along the way. With Monogatari, I don't think things were ever changed, because the goddamn prequel storyline, which came out after the first arc, is pretty much the perfect setup for how everything comes to a close in the end. And one of the characters' catchphrases, which they start saying by the first arc, is foreshadowing for the events that happen in their story at the end of it. Like, and I would consider that ending above what I would like the average to be. I think it's very good, and I think I would prefer if endings were just at a baseline just good, at minimum. I would say that's very good. But then there's Code Geass and Madoka Magica, which are so comically good that they embarrass everything else. Code Geass, I mean, everyone praises that ending. The only people who don't are pessimists and nihilists. And by nihilist, I mean, nothing has any meaning. Oh god, nihilist. Nothing has any meaning! And just the fact that it's set up by episode 1, because one of Lelouch's lines in episode 1 is, the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed. Guess how the fucking story ends? And just the themes present and the way that final bit with the Zero Requiem is handled is just absolute perfection. And Madoka Magica, honestly, having recently done the recap movies for that in my own time, I think that might actually end up being better, in my opinion, than Code Geass. I think that payoff is genuinely one of the best of all time. Because it doesn't come out of nowhere, and there is the build-up to it, even though it completely alters the entire tone and themes present within the story. Like, within a single scene, everything about that show is turned on its head. We're not at the ending yet. Let's focus on this. That was a really long tangent.
Zuko Midoriya.
That kind of went in all different directions.
I said something kind of mean earlier, and it was like another person reacted.
Zuko's eyes are so much weirder when they're just completely static. Like, when the, flame look isn't moving at all. Like, when it looks like actual energy, sure, but when it just looks like his eyes are even wider and now end in a sharp point, it just is so weird. And he's standing next to Mirio when I'm saying that.
I've got plenty of friends!
He got crazy upset, panicky. He acted like a little kid.
So I bitched about the combining of All For One and Tomura, and how I think that should have been more set up if that was the plan from the start. But I feel like I'm conflicted on whether or not I want to say that for Tenko as well, because I feel like Tomura suppressing the memories of that event, I don't know why it would suppress Tenko as a concept entirely. I don't really see how regaining his memories of those events would cause Tenko to start existing again as a different personality inside of him. I feel like that should have been there, and Tomura would just have no real idea why he's saying those things, which would only add to his kind of madness. I feel like I would have liked this moment more if stuff like that had happened in earlier seasons with him. And, I mean, part of the problem was that Tomura was already childish. So, a reaction like this fit Tomura from the first 2 or 3 seasons. That was actually how he behaved. Which is part of why I think it's weird that now that's Tenko taking over.
Izuku. He's still in there. Look.
May. If the faces on the fingers are Tenko's family, Nana shouldn't recognize them. It was decades since she saw her son, and she knew nothing about any of his family.
If you don't defeat him in the next 5 minutes, the world will fall.
What?
I'm going to stop you.
God, make the eyes ripple or something. Don't just...
Mission. Top Gear! Did he just break the sound barrier?
What has he done?
What the hell is that?
Where did he go?
And at this moment, Izuku Midoriya is exceeding his perceived limits. He's operating at 120%!
That's where the budget for this season went. Holy fuck!
Brother.
So was he at 100% full cowling, or was it like a boosted 100%, like Fajin's, like the Fajin faux 100% thing?
You were an insect. Not worthy of my notice.
Why was he crying?
Quirk. Gear shift. Like the meta abilities of the other successors, my power has transformed over the years, expanding along with One for All as it grew stronger.
That's the second one, so I probably grew the strongest, right?
Quintuple!
I kind of wish we were getting percentages on this stuff.
That wasn't it.
Completely stopped himself.
Low gear.
Gear shift is not bound by the rules of inertia. You're slipping, All for One.
As someone who has mulled over some concepts for works of fiction in my own mind, the idea of speed manipulation and not just super speed is something that I've actually thought quite a bit about. It's actually probably my favorite power. My favorite would probably actually be velocity manipulation, but with speed manipulation, you can come to a complete stop in less than a second and can shoot like a bullet immediately after it. I'm kind of surprised to see that in something else. That's always been something that was kind of just something I had in my mind. But velocity manipulation is still better because that's speed and direction, which is completely fucking busted.
This time I'll attack with every power available to me.
Why is the eye energy just completely
You're
static?
the one who will complete one for all.
I won't allow you to hurt anybody else.
Is that gonna break the barrier? Also, what the fuck did he mean the world would end? This is kind of what I was talking about with the pacing. Because we are in episode 13 of what I believe to be a 21 episode season. It is also, from what I know, not going to be the final season. I don't know how long season 8 is planned to be, but the fact that I'm pretty sure there's going to be one... Already, we have 8 more episodes after this. And this is the final boss. Every other villain is still standing, and 2 of them just powered up. This is kind of why I've been complaining about the pacing. 'Cause, like, if this happened, like, significantly later, even if it was, like, 3 episodes before the end of the season, I might have believed that this was actually the conclusion. Why the fuck isn't this the conclusion? What kind of plot armor bullshit has to happen for this to continue at this point?
This is their fault. Eraserhead and those brats with their underhanded methods. The arena's to blame too. And the trick they used to split us up. All of it!
This does somewhat help the pacing issue, because it seems pretty clear that he's going to continue. I think however it happens is probably going to be a little bit bullshit. But the fact that Deku used literally fucking everything, and it barely beat him in this state, and I feel like based off what's being said here, they're going to break the barrier and he's going to fight in the open with his quirks. Like, if that's how this goes, the fact that Deku had to use literally fucking everything, there's no fucking way Shigaraki can be defeated with his quirks at this point. Also, why isn't Deku questioned why he's using what looked like quirks?
Victory is still well within my reach.
Why is... Because of Spinner. It's so bizarre to me that out of all the shows that I've watched, the one that got the most commentary out of me was Mushoku Tensei, easily. But the second is fucking My Hero Academia. What? Why? If Spinner was intended to be relevant this whole time, he should have been developed long ago and not been treated like complete fodder in every single fucking regard. The dude feels like basically a nameless grunt character. Yet for some reason he's somehow fucking relevant to everything.